for malaria never had any issues, or for malaria prevention never had any issues. So I know some people have, some people haven't, but I mean, I guess that's kind of the way it is with any drug. Some people have it, some people, some get side effects, some don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I saw that. I mean, then all of a sudden all these, especially because she's some sort of minister, I saw all these pastors, especially on my timeline, come up and like, oh, I'm like, dude, you're misleading so many people, and it bugs me because, of course, then they question your faith. Well, don't you have faith? Yeah, I do. But he's also given me an intellect.
Not for fucking demon sperm and shit like that.
I mean,
aliens, you know what I mean?
Aliens, demons. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that might explain my origins, but never mind. All I'm saying
I thought you were going to say that explains your orgies. So I was like, what? Whoa, wait a minute.
Well, that's a different story for another day. Anyway, no, that explains my... But no, what I'm saying is... it's just that, I mean, once I started looking at that and then some spiritual leaders started weighing in, I'm like, some of these people that go to your church follow what you say to, the thing, we could be looking at a fucking red car. You say it's blue. They'll swear it's blue just because pastor said it.
And we all know people like that.
Yep. So what I'm saying is, God gave us, what is that word that they like to use? Discernment, And
right.
So, I mean, come on. Like I said, I just know that I know one day when we finally meet the Creator, we're going to discover that a lot of the stuff that these 503Cs or 501Cs, whatever, I can't remember the nonprofit status. Right. That a lot of these nonprofit status corporations have been teaching us
were bullshit.
Yeah, I mean
they were pumping bullshit into the air.
They were teaching some things right, but the rest of it was just a way to keep them and their families
living a certain style of life
from poor people. And then whenever
fuck them.
And the reason why you don't prosper is your lack of faith. I mean, what best insurance or malpractice insurance if Anyway, like I said, we're not here to clown down. I'm not here to clown on religion. Like I said, I
know it's fun.
It can be. I mean, but it's fun to clown on just about anything. But I mean, when I see stuff like this, it's like, come on, use your intellect. God, if you believe in God, which I do, didn't make us he gave us free will, and he did that for a reason. He allows us to
for think. Them to. He gave us free will, so people turn on cursory overload.
And that's probably the best reason to have free will. Quite honestly,
that's right.
If you're gonna, going to exercise your free will, might as well do it listening to cursory overload, because I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I mean, if you're going to be sitting there, what else are you going to want to do? You want to listen to somebody talking about ball gags and fucking horse dicks and bukakis, or do you want to watch the news? Come on now.
Didn't we? Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, wait a minute. Hey, we resemble that remark. But okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, because we talk about all that kind of stuff.
Well, we talk about a lot of things, and I mean, last episode we had a very remarkable young man. I hope you guys listened to that episode.
That was really cool. I was really
we broke tradition. We had our first guest ever on Cursory Overload.
Yeah,
and it was testing the waters for us. I mean, we had some technical issues, which I kind of anticipated using the platform we were using. That was my biggest, right. Yeah, but I don't know. We have to find a better way. But I mean,
well, I don't know. Scuba Steve was an awesome guest.
Yeah,
I'm really happy he came on and was willing to talk to us.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty awesome.
I mean, because you think about it, you think about all the people that he's had You know what I mean? Because, we're talking about major television networks are involved in this,
Yeah, NBC's
and
involved.
he made time to come and talk to us. That was really badass.
Like I said, it's pretty awesome. So big ups to Scuba Steve and his family up there in Wyoming, living the life, living the dream.
Yep. The cold life, fuck. It's cold up there.
Not right now. Or, I don't know. Well,
no?
Any place is better. Well, right now it's 116 right here, so I'm just saying.
Question for you. What was the first time, if you can remember, that you first fell in love with or realized that you were into the anti-heroes? Like those that, do heroic things, but they're not the typical heroes. Like, they're very flawed, and they do things in a very, very, sometimes bad manner.
Let's see.
Do you remember?
Let's see. Okay. One of the first, before Batman, before any of that, I was 3 years old when I was taken to see Star Wars. So I came out of that swinging my imaginary red lightsaber and breathing heavily like I was Darth Vader. But at that point in time, he was completely the villain.
He was the bad guy at the first.
He was the bad guy, so he wasn't really an anti-hero. Let's see, an anti-hero that I could see he wasn't necessarily a good guy. I would have to say Blade. The first movie?
Blade?
Yeah,
That's a good. Yeah.
When he's beating the shit out of that cop, and then he starts taking the watch and robbing him, and the guy's like, not the girl's like, now you're robbing him, and he's like, how do you think we fund this operation? We're not exactly the March of Dimes. I would probably go with Blade.
That was badass. Yeah. I got thinking about it because something I was watching had Brandon Lee on it, or it was talking about Brandon Lee. And as we all know, Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, who died very young as well, just like his father. I got thinking about the very first time I saw him was in The Crow. And I think that was, I'd always been around comic books my whole upbringing. I was around comic books. But I think watching The Crow on big screen, God, I had to have watched it like 400 times. But when it first came out, I think I saw it back to back like 2 or 3 times. But I think that was the very first time I can remember really understanding what an anti-hero was and realizing I agreed with what he was doing.
Yeah, I guess.
He's killing people, and I'm like, they deserve to die.
Well, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember watching that too, but I guess I never looked at it that way. It wasn't until right now when you asked me, it wasn't until Blade that Blade's saving you from vampires, but yeah, he doesn't necessarily play by the rules or the books.
Right. Yeah, I've been thinking about it the whole,
because
thinking about the first time.
Because for a lot of these younger generations, obviously Deadpool's going to be like right up there when it comes to anti-heroes.
Right, or Punisher.
Yeah. And then
I think Punisher was another big one.
Yeah, Punisher would be. Yeah, definitely Punisher was an anti-hero that I guess for me it was Blade, probably Hellboy, because technically Hellboy is the demon or the beast of the apocalypse, which eventually will destroy everyone.
I don't really think Batman would be classified as an anti-hero.
Well, Batman, the thing with him is that he does step outside the law, beats the shit out of people to get confessions. Which, I guess he's a vigilante, I guess,
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah. Well, I was bringing up anti-hero, because once again, like I said, they were talking with Brandon Lee, and that got me thinking about it. But that also kind of segues into one of the things we wanted to talk about today was the fact that there may or may not be some issues with one of our favorite superheroes getting brought into the MCU.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah, and part of the problem with that is that he has the contract with him is directly to Netflix, not the and that. So yeah, I don't know. You're gonna elaborate on what we're talking about?
One of the things that they were talking about was that maybe instead of bringing him, there's no rush to bring him in. Like nothing's being filmed right now, so there's really no rush to be negotiating. So Disney may end up waiting. If you guys haven't figured out who we're talking about Charlie Cox coming over into the MCU or the Mouse's world as Daredevil.
Yeah, well, apparently, like I said, he's still under contract with Netflix, and that doesn't expire yet. So that's a little bit of a problem.
All right, and they said that everything is really kind of on hold right now due to COVID. Fuck COVID. So there's no hurry, and that might be what we're seeing right now. But then again, there's another idea that was brought forth was in Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man. If he does need a lawyer, the new She-Hulk is a lawyer.
Okay.
They said that with the issue with Spider-Man right now is like, I guess the script has already been wrote. And for them to bring in a whole nother character like Daredevil, that's going to cost a whole lot of money because that's a whole lot of rewriting and all that. So what there's a theory is that they might bring in She-Hulk this way. So because there's already plans on doing a She-Hulk show and expose her to, that way. The other talk is that they just don't do anything with it and just leave it the way it is and not expose any more new characters because you don't really need to. Spider-Man is, let Spider-Man have his own light.
That is true. I mean,
and then try to give Daredevil some space away from Netflix. Like, let there be some space, some time before trying to bring in Daredevil. So that way, they could kind of bring in their own storyline. I don't know.
Well, that could happen, I guess. Then again, who knows? Depends on how bad they want it. Right now, like you said, COVID-19 has crippled movie theaters. So obviously there's not going to be any ticket sales, or there won't be any real revenue from the movie theaters.
You know what I'm kind of confused about right now is the fact I keep wondering with all the talks of racism and all the talks of equality, wouldn't you think it'd be a great time to bring Luke Cage into it? Like, would this not be like a perfect time to bring Luke Cage into the MCU?
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, I haven't heard no talks about it, and I don't even know if the guy who played it on Netflix
Disney does a very good job of staying away from heat.
Well, I understand that, but Luke Cage was originally wrote for the fact that there were no black superheroes.
True that, but Luke Cage was originally written back in the day when Marvel wasn't owned by the Mouse.
True.
So, like I said, the Mouse will. Like I said, the Mouse is. They do a good job staying away from heat. Like I said, they don't want to burn themselves or. It's crazy. I mean,
there are some rumors that John Bernthal as Punisher may not be completely out of the question.
Yeah, I just hope. Obviously, you'd have to listen to the previous episode, the one with Scuba Steve. We mentioned that the Mouse softens everything up, and what happens if they do a musical of the Punisher? I mean, you were going into song and everything, but that would just I don't know. It would be awesome.
Well, I mean,
actually, no.
They do have Hulu, so I mean, they could very easily throw that in there.
A musical of the Punisher, but
no, they could throw plain Punisher into Hulu. But
we figured the whole Netflix, Marvel, whatever that was called,
right?
All of that could have gone directly to Hulu and just left it alone. But obviously, like I said, there's other issues people like Charlie Cox had contracts directly with Netflix, and that means the